mind and onto paper that is spinning within you. Another way you can do it is take some time. And I know that it feels, at times people say, oh yeah, meditation, I don't have time for it. But the fact is that through meditation comes the stillness that will give you the solutions and the answers. We cannot come up with solutions when our mind is spinning in fear. And we cannot come up with answers when we're overthinking and overanalyzing and worrying. I know, believe me, I know what all of those feel like so well. I truly, I just went through a health period, and I told one of my friends that, asked me what did I learn the most through this surgery that I had in this period of healing my body from the surgery. And I said, you know what, for the first time, I believe in my life, I truly was able to identify what worry felt like, what worry, being stuck in worry about my health, worry about my future, worry about my relationships, worrying about my business. I mean, worry is insidious. It's like it wants to go. It's like when it gets a hold of us, it wants to go in every direction possible. So what I found through this, it was the biggest discovery I made through this period of recovery was by cultivating stillness. And that meant being in nature. It meant flow journaling or flow writing. It meant absolutely meditation, and also breath work, getting in tune with our breath. There's so much we can do to support our body and to support our ability to move out of the stress and the frenzy and into the stillness. And I think that we many times have been taught or not taught how very important and key that is in order to make the shifts and changes to move forward. When we're caught in worry, we cannot take action steps forward. That's just the truth. We start to make decisions and choices based on fear versus based on clarity. We end up, the feeling. I know you do because you've been there and you've written about it and you teach about it. And so stillness, it's cultivating stillness is the number one step we can take in order to get to the good questions that will move us forward.
Well, and I think that you underscore a point that I make both in my book and in my work and in my life is that, writing, right? It's a thing we can do that satisfies the mind's need to do something, right? Because stillness is, like you say, a cultivation. It doesn't necessarily come naturally to many of us. And sitting still may be super hard when, the flames are burning all around us. And so just taking a pencil and a paper or pen and paper, and I mean seriously handwriting, right? Activating the prefrontal cortex, writing things down, flow, whatever's coming to you, problem solving, list making. There are lots of things that can be the first step that cost nothing, that can be done in the immediate, that will start to quell the active voices, the loud, worries and fears and things, that the uncertainty. And I think that feels to me like a really easy stepping stone to stillness, to be able to start with that activity of writing.
I just say get it. Yeah, I agree. Get it out and get it onto paper. Get it out. Yes. It doesn't have to make sense. It could be one single word at a time. Just get it out and get it onto paper, because when you get it out and get it onto paper, it immediately starts to bring a calmness to the nervous system and be able to clear the path for a more constructive way of asking questions and listening for answers. I think it's, and writing is one of those things where I truly believe we undervalue it still. I know we've said it a couple times in this conversation, but writing and meditation, walking in nature, cultivating stillness, whatever that takes for you, whatever that is. But writing is one of those areas where it's like, oh yeah, I don't have time to sit and write. Oh, I have so much to do. There's so many reasons we give ourselves to not do these things. I was working with a client the other day, and giving her some very constructive suggestions about what she could do to step out of fear. And I said, how does that feel? And she said, it sounds like hard work to me. That sounds like hard work to me. And I think that self-care, self-love is really what we're talking about here. It's like pausing long enough to focus inward, to support yourself and fortify yourself with a new level of connection, a new level of energy, a new level of peace and calm. That can't be considered hard work for us any longer. I think we've reached a time where most of us know and practice that in order to be out in the world giving and serving or loving or even caring for our families or growing our business and our organizations or innovating new ideas that we can bring forth through products and programs and services. All of that comes through a creative mindedness that requires that we have lots of time to cultivate that stillness that we've been talking about.
Well, absolutely. And, if your life depended on it, would you find the room? Would you find the time? Would it feel less like work? Right? Because those are the moments you've experienced that, I've experienced that, when we're truly confronted with a life or death situation back against the wall. And that might be a different threshold for everybody. It might not be a physical threat of death, and it might be for some, but it's really, what does it take to get us to wake up and say, no work is work? If it furthers me along in my journey, if it makes me a greater contribution in the world, if it serves my purpose in life, then it's no longer work. It's what comes naturally. And
I love this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, I was just going to say that we have to get to that place, right? And it comes for everybody at different times, where you become the most important person, the most important pursuit you have to do in your life.
Yes. I'm in the throes of writing my next book right now. And on Mondays, I use it as my self-care day. So that means less communication with the outside world and more nurturing of my creative mindedness. And so I do breath work, I do meditations a couple times a day, and I really go inward. And on the outside, that would look, even to myself, I'm going to tell you, yesterday I was like, I have so much on my agenda. Why am I doing this? Why do I have to? Why can I, let's get back to work, Marsh. That was what my mind wanted to say to me, get back to work. And I stayed true to it, though. I had very, very little interaction with the outside world and dedicated myself. And I know not everybody can do this. I'm an entrepreneur, and I, of course, like most of us, I'm at home and I work, and I'm writing, books, and I'm coaching so I can control my own schedule. But many of us can't do that. But here's what my story is telling us. At the end of the day, last night, I'd been struggling with the next chapter for my book and the content for the next chapter of my book. At the end of the day, last night, I was doing my final spiritual practice for the day, and through it came, Christine, you'll love it, through it came the entire premise of the next chapter. The words, the direction, the focus, what was the outcome I was looking to provide. It was amazing to me that it took all day, though. It took me all day to cultivate a level of stillness where I could see the next steps that were wanting to take shape before me through the writing of that chapter. So I truly believe, I'm a believer in this, but I struggle just like all of us do. My mind wants to tell me that there's more important things in the world to be doing, even though I know, and I'm both feet in committed to cultivating stillness and being at that place of creative mindedness. There's still those days where I want to, I'll enter into a breathwork practice with a practitioner, and it's like all at once I need to unload the dishwasher, or I need to go do the laundry, or I need to go, don't I need to order groceries, or don't I need, my mind wants to tell me all these doing activities when, as you said, probably the most important activity of doing that we can actually commit to would be that cultivating stillness and that connection with ourselves.
Well, I think that you have nailed it. For me, the only thing that really works is to make a daily commitment and to know that at certain times of the day, and for me, it's 5 in the morning, so I can't be disturbed and nothing will come in the way, and I get fewer emails and phone calls at that time. But it's really critical. And there are just things that are not up for negotiation, and staying committed to that is, for me, what works. And Marsh, you are such an inspiration to me and so many women. And we are so grateful to have you here and sharing this message, and a reminder and inspiration that it isn't a straight line and we can all get there. And there are really accessible ways to do so. And so please, if you have a final message for our listeners, share with us what it is that you would like to have us hear from
I'm
you.
going to leave us with one final question that's a really good one, and this is the one that moved me forward the most in the most troubling, challenging times of my life. And the question is, why does improving my life and the lives of others inspire and matter to me? Why does improving my life and inspiring and improving the lives of others matter to me? And then a favorite quote that just came to me this morning that I'm going to leave us with, because it moved me when I read it, is that look closely at the present you are constructing. It should look like the future you are dreaming. We all have the power to create that, and those are the words of Alice Walker. So thank you so much. I loved our time together. Thank you so much.
As always, I love it too. Everybody, you will find out how to get a hold of Marsh in the show notes. And thank you so much, Marsh, for being here with us today and inspiring us with your journey and your words. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Take care.